What's up, my good people? What's up, my good people? Sorry for the slight delay, but we had to get some things straight on the back end. And it's okay because for me, what I learned is you always going to get challenged towards your new goal, your new dream, the ambition, whatever it is that you're working towards. You're going to face some type of challenge just to see if you want it bad enough. We didn't quit. We didn't stop. We coming straight to you now. Um, Tonight we're gonna have the real, honest, much needed conversation about men and sexual self control, sexual misconduct, and the consequences that can come from sexual behavior, sexual interaction. We're gonna get real tonight, and we got a special guest for y'all. My guy, Mr. Keith Stupid. That's two O's, right? I like to, you know what I'm saying? Let me bring him in to you guys right now. Shout out to my guy, Mr. Marquis Smith.
It's kind of my fault. We coming on kind of late. I had to knock the dust and wheels off all my podcast equipment because I ain't been on in a while since the last time you saw me with Trey. So it's still rather early, and I hope everybody's still tuning in. What's good, Trey?
Man, what's happening, bro? I had to get a snack.
Yeah, waiting on my ass, right? You know what I'm saying? Waiting
But
on my
we
ass.
here. Man, I can't wait to have this conversation, bro. First of all, I allow my guests to decide what we are going to be talking about, right? So, what it's Men's Mental Health Month. What made you decide to have this conversation?
Man, just seeing some of our more powerful brothers in media and sports just out here seem like they're squandering their opportunities, giving away their power. Um,
Mm,
to what seems like mostly sexual misconduct, but just in general, like it's just like we most of the time we as black people we come from nothing, and
mm-hmm.
so when we get the power, we get fame, money, we don't know how to act like. And in specific cases, like I like to touch on Shannon Sharp's situation, how he was on the verge of another 100 mil deal, had
Mm.
Cat Williams episode popping the most watched YouTube in a while next to Joe Rogan, and then because he can't stay away from the snow bunnies, in the words of Dr. Umar, he's no longer on ESPN, and he's the reason why I watch ESPN. Really, I don't care to listen to Stephen A. and whatnot. I watch Shannon Sharp when he was with Skip Bayless. I watched Skip Bayless because he was with Shannon Sharp on First Take.
Yeah.
I watched First Take because he was with Shannon Sharp because his voice is powerful and he speaks well to things. I don't know, he's just very good on camera. And then of course we got our brother Diddy, but everybody, if you ain't up to date on what Diddy got going on, he's even a bigger example of one of our top, I don't know, top in terms of making money and fame and power, one of our top people, and how he's just falling from uh falling
All
from
from
the
Grace.
I can't even say grace, probably falling from the shoulder of the devil, you know what I'm saying? But
Ooh,
I can't even say grace.
yeah, cause it's real, man. It's a twofold part for me. First of all, anytime, and this is just me, I can't speak for nobody else, but anytime I see the accusation, I automatically, I'm like, all right, you're gonna have to prove it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? The first time that is broadcasted, because I know that there's a system at play to tear down highly influential black men. You know what I mean? Um, Second thing is where I'm going to take this is like we got to have a discussion about sexual self control. You know what I mean? And I think it's a I think the reason why it hasn't been communicated thus far to the point where, this has been like one of the main falling points for most of our guys, most of the guys that I see, most of the large name men, um, once their brands become a certain size, now, of course you're gonna attract more. That's gonna come with it. So how do you navigate that? Do you not have any men in your circle that can guide you in that area? You know what I'm saying? Like I've had being married, I've had great mentors who taught me some stuff that I really thought, won't it, you know what I'm saying? And then once I put it in practice, I was like, okay, now I understand what you mean, what you're saying, how you was trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like I understand now, okay, more control. So yeah, we going I love this. I love this. Let's roll into it, man. So what happened with? I know pretty much the Diddy case, but I don't keep up with ESPN. I don't watch the too much. I watch the games when the games gaming.
Yeah, Eagles winning. That's when you watching there.
Yeah, I'm saying Celtics up, you know what I mean? If it's championship, finals, playoffs, what I'm saying, Super Bowl, that type of like it's a heat is on, you know what I mean? Then yeah, I tune in. But for the most part, I ain't really watching too much games, too much of the sports, what's going on. So what's happening with Shannon Sharp and stuff? 'Cause I thought last time I checked he was up.
He was up. He really he has Club Shay Shay, which is his one of his podcasts. He also has Nightcap with
Hmm.
Ocho Cinco, where they talk about sports. But on Club Shay Shay, he interviews like comedians, actors, and a bunch of other affluent black people. Um, and on Club Shay Shay, last year he had Cat Williams
Hmm.
on, and that went viral because Cat Williams pretty much told the world that everything about to get exposed, and then it did kind of, all these celebrities and whatnot getting in trouble and all that, including Diddy. So Shannon Sharp was really on top of the world. That Cat Williams episode made him the second highest viewed episode of any podcast behind Joe Rogan, and the
Hmm.
hundreds of millions of views, and that was big. So people see that, and I guess he was about to get a media deal worth $100 million. You know,
Word.
in media, like a black man in the media getting $100 million deal. And as soon as that comes up, here come this. I guess she was at the time he was messing with her. She was 19. I think she's 22 now. But Snow Bunny uh, accusing him of sexual assault or whatever. I don't know how true it is. I don't know. They've been
Mm.
in court. He's tried to settle with her for 10 million, but she's trying to get 50. Um, and now it seems like that deal is off the table. He's taking a voluntary leave of absence from ESPN, which means to me, like, nigga, go somewhere till the heat die down. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't. You bad for business right now. He's still doing Club Shay Shay, and I still watch Nightcap almost nightly while sports things are going on. But unfortunately, I don't think we'll see him on mainstream media anytime soon. Not that he needs it, but um,
Mhm.
to have $100 million opportunity squandered because you have this, I guess his what do you call that word when you just got a fix on,
Urge,
not urge, but that's his
fetish.
fetish. Yeah, I guess young white girls are his fetish or whatever, and you know. She clearly was planted on him. Like somebody knew Shannon Sharp likes to go for the young white girls and put this girl in his presence. They did what they did, and now that he's in a position of power and opportunity, somebody pulled the plug on it. I don't
So, was it? Is it a issue of like how?
That's the
I don't.
that's the argument in the court case. Like, she sent clips of him saying, I'm gonna choke you and stuff, but it's clearly clipped and edited, so we don't know. Shannon Sharp argues, like he knows the clip in question, and he says it's edited because it's taken out of context that he was like threatening her with violence instead of like just you know talking that shit, sexually and whatnot. I don't know a better way to put it. I don't know a better way to put it. Excuse me, I'm not very cultured. I'm not very well.
we having a raw conversation tonight.
Yeah,
It's all right.
it's very raw, and apparently Shannon likes to keep it raw too. Too. Hey, we all been there. We all. I can't talk. I can't talk. I cannot talk.
I don't kiss and tell. You know what I'm saying? Anything I tell is gonna be y'all know who I'm.
Yeah, this is a
So
married man. He ain't got nothing. He's so far removed from this. That's why I'm giving y'all the 411. Trey don't do all this shit.
I ain't in the streets, bro.
Show,
I
show on
don't
the ring,
need.
Trey. Show on the ring, Trey. Show on the ring.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't even know what the games they be playing games. I be like, what was that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? Shout out to y'all, but I can have the conversation about sexual self control thus going forward because you will need a lot of it. You become more attractive the less available you are. You know what I'm saying? So, being is that you're not on the market, you're exuding certain qualities of that are deemed attractive, and it's not just like physical, like body or looks or handsome. It's more so like protective, actually supportive, communicative, things of that nature. Those qualities are more in depth of attraction. So, yeah, we definitely could have the conversation of sexual self control because you have to exude that to be faithful. It don't matter. It don't matter. Like you could look bummy, you could whatever. Like, but if you got a woman that you're sticking with, you're still gonna be deemed attractive. How you treat that woman, you know what I'm saying? So, guys, I'm letting you know before we even head into the real discussion. When you do decide to settle with one woman, the game just begun. You know what I'm saying? Like now you have to amplify your sexual self control. It's not like, oh, I'm good, I can ease up, because you will have even more attention. And that goes into the play of when you become powerful or successful or whatever it is, when you gain a lot of influence, a lot of attention, a lot of traction, a lot of money, whatever it is, a lot of resources, a lot of fame, stardom, whatever it is that can garnish that attention, then yes, you will start getting more of it. You will start to attract more of the opposite sex. So yeah, we're gonna have this
We
conversation.
we go- we gonna talk about sex, but I don't want it just to make it all about sex, like because it's other things. Because we talk about mental health, right? The theme of your platform this month is mental health, and not just there's other things too. And I'll always bring up examples in sports. I think last year, right? Or
Mhm.
earlier this year. I can't remember when it was, but we had no, it was earlier this year. LSU wide receiver ready to go to the NFL draft, Kyron Lacy. Um, he was ready to go to the draft. Probably was partying one night. This is like leading up to the draft, like a couple weeks before he's about to, live out his dream of being an NFL player. Something he's probably worked all his life to do. He's on the brink of, coming from nothing and getting on that plateau, getting on that plateau of like, mama, I made it. And
Mhm.
he he ended up killing himself.
Oh.
The reason why he killed himself is because he, I think, was drinking one night. Quote me if I'm wrong. Quote me if I'm wrong. People don't quote me, but correct me if I'm wrong. But he was drinking one night, and he, I believe, he committed involuntary vehicular manslaughter because he was under the influence or something like that. Let me hold on. Sorry, I ain't had time.
That's big, man.
Yeah, he was accused of negligent homicide behind the wheel of a vehicle, and he fled the scene. When it happened. So
Mm,
he was about to have his day in court, and I guess he felt. I'm just guessing for him. I can't speak for him because he's not here to tell his story, but he was uh, feeling like his opportunity was about to be squandered because of one dumb mistake he made, and he ended up shooting himself in the head.
mm. So damn. So
Yeah,
this is so this does go deeper than just sexual conduct.
it's not just sex. It's like when we get power, we just do. I mean, these young NFL players, right? It's
Mm,
so many instances of DUIs, and we got the example of Henry Ruggs. He was a wide receiver, young wide receiver, probably maybe was 1 or 2 years in the league. He's out in Las Vegas playing for the Raiders. You know how Las Vegas is, party city. He's in the off season, and he's probably on the strip doing like 125 in a car he just purchased because he just started making some money, and he wrecked and killed somebody too, and now he's no longer in the league. You know,
mm, man.
like it's just I don't know what it is. It's like power is like a drug or a substance. Like it's almost like we get. It seems like w- we we as black people get drunk with it. When you look at I ain't knocking it because I take part in it, but the hip hop culture, sports and entertainment, we get in places of power and notoriety, and we just sometimes we act a damn fool because we ain't been there before.
Mm. I'm gonna broaden it up. It's not just with black for with
It's not just black people, but because we are who
we
we are.
focus on us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on us.
Um,
White people be crashing out worse than us, but they don't talk about it as much.
damn broadcast it.
Yeah,
um, oh my goodness. Yo, you got me. You got me. So
my bad.
because this
I know. I told people they was like, "Oh, last time you was with Trey, this and that's the third happened." And like last time we went through this on Monday, and we had this conversation for 7 hours before the podcast. And we were kind of like, I was like actually nervous coming on today. I was like, "Damn, we ain't prepared. We just doing this no pad, no pencil,
right,
freestyling." But we will get through it though. It's still gonna be fire.
right.
Still gonna be
That's
fire.
why it's gonna be dope. That's why we had to. I was anticipating because it ain't no script. It ain't no preparation, like you said, and like I'm able to feel that, like that. Man,
Yeah.
S- so
While we at it, I just want to shout out your recent guest, brother Quan.
mhm.
Paul was on here the other day. Um, Robert Utley. Uh, I just want to give a shout out to my guys, man, because they are my inspiration. Like now, I got to follow up on all of that, and I don't mean to disappoint, but it's a little bit of pressure on me tonight.
So I love that. First of all, shout out to all my guests.
You got the sound effects going.
Bruh.
Coming up in the world. Message.
You know what I'm saying? We got them, bro. I need more. Send me more little snippets I can use, and I can show you how I do this down too behind the scenes. But yeah, bro, that is ooh. I'm still I'm still processing because what I want to say is shout out to Doc Rob, Mr. Robert Utley, I guess that we had on for the Men's Mental Health Month as well. Um, and he talked about the rites of passage from boyhood to manhood, right?
Hmm.
We also had a previous live where it was, the hip hop mantra is money, power, respect. But Doc Rob says the real mantra is righteousness, power, respect. Meaning, let's take the emphasis off of the money. When you are righteousness, meaning you are moving in the rightest of ways, purest of intentions, right? When you are righteousness, the power and the respect follows. You have actual influence. I propose this question to a lot of guys of, we always talk about leadership, men as leaders. Okay, well, what type of leadership do you harbor on? Would you rather be feared or loved? It's a real question. Most of them like say I'd rather be feared because at the bare minimum I'll be respected,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, well, I'm loved and I still get that respect. Respect isn't out of a fear-based thing. Even when it comes to like dictatorship, if the respect isn't there, what they do, they overthrow them. They can't wait to assassinate you. We're gonna replace you. It's a temporary thing that's really more so bred out of ego of dominance
Mm-hmm.
versus the love. Love is the foundation of everything. And if I come from a center of love, when I go to tell you something out of respect, out of trust, what I'm saying, out of love, it will I will garnish that respect, and I will have just as much influence as what we think that fear will breed us. So guess what?
It's love.
It's love, bro. But yeah, that is so. That's what I want to lean into is if we focused more on the righteousness part, the power and the respect will follow versus what we do. And I've spoken on this many a times is we focus on the money, but the
Yeah.
money, not knocking it, get your money. I'm gonna get mine too. But if the focal point is the money, you don't have to have morals. You don't have to have principles. You don't have to learn as much. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be righteousness. The world is showing it. You know what I'm saying?
You do a lot of unrighteous things to get money nowadays.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh man. So when we focus on that, we glorify the money and the status, the status that the money supposed to bring. Then yeah, you become mellifluent. You're and I know a lot of people that once you get money, you start to you want to try things. You know what I'm saying? You want to try your way, try your hand. But so many people, you see it. So many people get to a certain status, and it's like I'm me. So I could tell you or whoever, whatever, because you're not at my level, whatever that level is. And it's like, what are you basing that level on? You know what I mean? Like that don't have obviously from the examples you've given, obviously it doesn't have or hold the same weight when it comes to the mental health. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I blew your
Mm.
mind. I blew your mind with the other shit once I said it's not just about sex. I blew your mind. Seemed like I blew your mind a little bit.
Yeah, because I was prepared to go deeper. Pause. I was prepared to go. I was prepared to go. I don't have a pause button. This ain't the This ain't the place for that. Uh, but I was prepared for uh, that subject, and
I mean, we still part of the conversation, so you know.
it's still a part of it because the mental is again when you get certain affluence, right? You feel on top of the world. You start to think that consequences are below you. You know what I'm
You
saying?
it's almost like when you now that I'm 30 plus, right? It's almost like it was when you were younger. You feel like you kind of reversing in age a little bit, not physically, but in your mindset. You gain a little bit of that invincibility back.
Mm,
Remember when you're young, you can run all day, scrape yourself, it'll heal in the next couple of hours. You just feel like you just You just have all the time and energy in the world to do whatever you want, and it's kind of like that effect on your mind, on your mental when you start to become when you start to gain more success, start to gain more money, start to gain more affluence, as you say. That's a word we're gonna use consistently tonight. You just kind of get feel like you're invincible. You feel I don't know, your ego starts getting stroked in all these type of different ways.
Mhm.
I'm just speaking from experience. And
Likewise, I'm with you.
and damn, where was I going with this? It's you like with the example of Diddy. Really feel like that man feels like he can't be touched, like he's invincible,
Mhm.
like nothing bad can happen to him.
Mhm. When you hear stories of men falling from grace, what thoughts or fears come up for you?
Well, hopefully I never gain so much money and fame that I start becoming as experimental as Diddy with baby oil and other objects and escapades. I hope I never. I don't even want. I don't even need $1 billion. So,
I
you know,
don't
I
need
don't.
a bill, bro.
I don't need it. I'm probably don't need nine figures. I would like eight, but I don't need nine. I don't even want it because who knows, bro? I don't know. I don't know what it is, but my fear is like, say, I'm a humble dude. Like I would feel comfortable making eight, nine figures in the background, nobody ever knowing my name, right?
Mhm.
But you don't know who has access to be able to see, oh, who is this person over here making this much money? Like, I feel like if you get to that level, obviously you're going to have to be in certain circles and um, working in certain networks to do that,
Mhm.
unless you hit the lottery or something. But even when you hit the lottery, people they announce the lottery winner,
Mhm.
and people can see who you are, and you don't know who's out there watching
Mhm.
or what kind of ideas they may get from oh, he got a little motion over here. Let's how can we use that to our advantage? Like that's what scares me about
Yes.
someone being at a like being a millionaire, being at a cocktail party and get tapped on the shoulder by some old white man I never seen.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro.
Not being
Like,
able, not being able to enjoy my riches and whatnot in peace. Like that's my fear.
I feel you because that's gonna come. That's gonna happen anyway. I think this developed with me at an early age, and I learned a lot through experience as to where like I don't want to deal with everybody. I don't want to deal with everybody where they are with what they doing. So I can't entertain everything. So just like you saying, I'm not gonna be everywhere. So
Let let me
so
let me interject right quick, Trey. What made me think of that answer is example our fellow Leo brother, Young Dolph,
oh
his situation, right?
oh
I get a little emotional over it because Dolph was my guy, man. Like Nipsey, I felt sad for that. Kobe, I felt sad, but Dolph like hit me different. I still haven't accepted that he's gone because when I listen to his music, he just put a new feature out on a song with Kenny Money, and I'm like, yo, this man's still making music. He's still in the studio with Glock somewhere. Like, please, like, I can't. He dead, but I just find it ironic around the time he lost his life, he was already like in what seems like rap beef with Yo Gotti. He had been shot one time out in L.A. They
Mhm.
tried his life in Charlotte. The whole bulletproof SUV situation. Like smart man on his part, but I watched a reel of it. I go back to this reel of he has a yellow envelope in his hand and he outside talking about, yo, they just offered me, 20+ million. I don't know if I should sign it or not. And he said, he refused the deal. He it got all the way up to the point where they thought they was about to pop champagne and shake hands on with the whatever record label because he was about to accept the deal. And at the last minute, he said, nah, because I guess whatever was in that contract, the way I interpreted what he was saying, he didn't say it outright, but it wasn't worth it. So I felt like he would have had to give up too much
Mm.
for that 22 mil. And if they're offering him 22 mil, how much more is he? How much more valuable is he is than 22 mil? And let's be honest,
Mhm.
like the popularity of Dolph that Dolph was building before his untimely demise was like up there. Like he might not be maybe not on the mainstream like Jay-Z or whatnot, but around here
Heavy,
where we at on the ground level, Dolph was well respected. Like whether you loved him
heavy.
or hated him, he was well respected. And he was a man that was like, "Yo, I'm gonna do things my way. I don't want to go with the labels and all that." He had promotion deals, um, but I really think that had something to do with why he lost his life too, because he said no.
Yeah, man. I think, especially since we speaking on the mental health part, a lot of this has to do with emotions, unchecked emotions. A lot of people can't handle rejection. A lot of
Hmm.
people can't handle uh or I've been speaking on this a lot off camera lately. I said, people are too quick and too willing to burn bridges. And what I mean by that is at this point, society looks at everything as a hate. Is hate is fuel to the fire. You motivated by negativity, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, they don't support me, that's why I went hard. What about when you do get support? But
That's true. That's true. Not just knowing me, it's like that Michael Jordan complex. Like no one has had beef with Jordan, but he said he used to create
Mm,
things in his mind to make it think like when he had an opponent, like he had a personal problem with him, and that would fuel his fire on the court. I kind of incorporate incorporate that in my life too. That's what keeps me going. I just think about past year where I felt like people did me wrong, or I was had disagreements with people that really hurt me, and I used that to fuel me to go forward. I get that a little bit, but it's not the healthiest way to think.
I get it. I get it. But I just opened the conversation because 9 times out of 10, these people ain't hating on you. They only ain't got enough. They
Information
not.
on you, they don't know enough about you to hate on you. They don't know enough. They just told you no. They just said nah.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
I ain't rocking with it. Like sorry.
And, and because it's unchecked emotion and you got to sit with it yourself, you usually the response is, and we're too quick to it. The response is life or death. I have I target the youth, especially the young boys, and this what this conversation is needed for the young boys that are blooming into men, and it's gonna, especially the ones that got all this ambition that want to do powerful things, and I support them. But I know a few young men that I could talk to. I've had enough of an impression on them to be able to just question their motive, what their intentions are. We can actually talk. But most of them, especially if they get any type of success, and I'm talking about like you did something, you sold something and made some money, and you could say you made that on your own. You didn't. Somebody else had to give you the money to make that a full transaction. But you made some money on your own. You bet on yourself and you got a result. The younger mind is not susceptible to correction. So I've had and not gonna go too personal, but I've had some YNs that I'm like, I would love to be able to correct you, but I know in this moment, at this point in time, me telling you right from wrong, I'm gonna be seen as the op. I'm the hater, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
F me. And it's like, okay, like again, we're too quick to burn that bridge. And then the result of that is you keep on burning all these bridges. Now you stuck on the island and wonder why men are in a loneliness epidemic. It's a loneliness epidemic for men right now. You'd have burnt all your bridges, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like you ooh man.
You know how they say it's lonely at the top or whatever. It's you probably make it that way on your way up there. You know.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I okay. Okay, yeah. Hold on.
Message.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like the way that you moving, you shouldn't sacrifice. And we talking about men getting some type of power, some type of affluence. You shouldn't be willing to sacrifice the very thing that you're working for. Meaning, don't cut. You know, like all of us, we like we want to make it to the top, but it's lonely at the top. It's lonely at the top because, like you said, you moved that way. You made it that way. There'll be some disagreements. Some people won't understand. Everybody's not gonna see your vision. It's not for them to see. You still gonna have to move forward. But to cut people off, even we talked about Dolph. Even Dolph was like, I did all of this to put my family in a different predicament. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, but he talked about it like I sacrificed y'all for y'all. And it's like now, like it's good that he could talk to his moms, his pops or whatever. They still gonna do their thing, but it's like he felt it too. Like I'm lonely. Like you pushed everybody to the side, to tunnel vision focus to get to the destination when the destination won't gonna change, the destination won't gonna go nowhere. We don't have That's something that could be discussed. We don't have to rush to get to this plateau or this level of success. You don't have to burn bridges. I think everything you can't have community without communication. I think everything happens and do with good communication.
I have a question for you though, Trey. I'm gonna challenge your thought a little bit. What about when you brought up the example of Dolphin pushing people to the side? What about the phrase you know you can't carry everyone along with you. You kind of gotta do things on your own first, and then start bringing people along once you in position.
hmm So it's an oxymoron, right?
Okay.
Be- because both are true.
Okay. Two things can be true. Yeah.
Two things can be true. It's not right or wrong. It's not left or right. It's not black and white. You know what I'm saying? Both things are absolutely true because I experience it. What I learned is okay, for one, categorize, schedule, take control of your time. Quality time is necessity for a relationship. That doesn't mean that it has to be a lot and it doesn't have to be a high sacrifice. It just has to be quality. So to spend, say, hey, if you are making them types of moves, right? I've seen this and I've done this, right? Where when you first start some type of venture, whether it's a business, organization, group, movement, whatever it is that you start, right? We got Utley in the comments. Y'all better get ready. You know what
What up?
I'm
What
saying?
up,
You
Doctor
go.
Ugly?
Said righteous, respect, power. There's levels to this. You just can't hand anyone power and expect righteousness and respect. Hello.
Message.
Message.
Said wisdom is a shelter as money is a shelter, but the advantage of knowledge is this, that wisdom preserves the life of its possessor. Hmm. Y'all better follow Doc Robert Utley. Yeah. So what I learned is like quality time quality time can be enhanced. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to take a lot of time for you to give quality time. And in the beginning, I know this a lot of us entrepreneurs has experienced this. Shout out to Shine. Yes, we still got that leather and wood.
Hey, that leather
Yeah,
and wood, the truth. That leather
you
and
know
wood,
what
the truth.
I'm
I need to order that one because I need to order that one.
saying?
That was doing wonders for me.
You know what I'm saying? I haven't used it yet. I'm kind of staying away from it. I
You
got
probably shouldn't. It's too powerful, bro. Don't do it.
I
Don't
got
do
that lavender and the mahogany teak would go crazy and the royalty, yo. So shout out to Shine. Um, when you start your entrepreneurial venture, many entrepreneurs have experienced this where you would expect your closest ones to support you to the utmost, whatever it is that you think they would, be able to provide support, whatever support looks like, you would think they would just jump in. But oftentimes that doesn't happen. They view you as the friend, the family member, as you are versus as you are developing. So usually you will have to still bet on yourself, act on, your vision to bring it into fruition. And yeah, later on they will support more so when they see, and that's a normal thing. I have to get acclimated to that myself because I'm like, me, my capability, so you should, just support me from the jump. But you have to be consistent for somebody to be able to say, okay, yes, I see what you're doing. You've been
Yeah,
doing it.
Y-
You know what I
you
mean?
can
Now,
you can talk about your plans, but sometimes I guess the natural human response is the need to see proof of work. Like when you start speaking of things like on extra subject matter, like when you talk about Africa, like and its history, like Robert Utley, for example, like he has proof of work. He has, it's
yes,
y'all got to tap in with him. Like it's amazing what you can learn from him. But
yes.
if you just some Joe Schmo on the street start talking about African history, it's like, all right, well, like how you know that? Where's your proof? Where's your research?
Who are you?
Yeah, who are you?
You know what I mean? So yeah, and then, to answer your question, what I did was provided opportunities. Okay, I got stuff. You want to spend time with me. These are things that need to be handled. Is there something that you could do to help me out? And I had my wife putting labels on, what I'm saying? You want me to get to bed quicker? I got to get done with this. So, hit them labels over there. I'm going to get these ones. Take 30 minutes off of me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, Mom, she want to get together. I say, okay, well, mom, I got to do some marketing today. I'm putting up some signs. You know what I'm saying? I got Cuzzo riding with me. I'll pay you, bro, or I'll fill up your tank and I'll ride with you and we go put up some signs or something like that. We're still able to spend time with each other. You know what I'm saying? You might make a little bread and you get more insight as to what it is that I actually do. You know what I'm saying? So if they're willing, then involve them. You know what I mean? I just had the Juneteenth pop up. Shout out to the Heinz RVA Foundation. I just had the Juneteenth pop up, and my little niece, I ain't seen her since she was what, like 11. Turns out she graduated this year. And I'm like, dang, she about my height, if not taller, beautiful as ever. But we was able to reconnect. She came and worked the pop up with me. And since you're going to college, you know what I'm saying? You got to learn about the business. You got to learn a little bit more about sales. You know what I'm saying? How to work these types of things. She started thinking about, okay, what it is that I could create, you know what I mean? That I could sell and stuff like that. And I'm like, I got you. I can help you out with whatever knowledge I got, as long as you're willing to do it. You know what I mean? So what I had to learn about, it's not about carrying people, it's putting people in place. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna focus on your strengths. If I see that you could do something that, boom, or and I don't know if this person is a powerful person that then has some affluence that has been affected, but Rick Ross also said
I don't never know where Rick Ross, bro. I don't know. I don't know. I
you
don't
know what
know.
I'm saying?
I don't know if he even rich anymore. I don't know.
Right. I don't
He said
I don't
forever,
know.
but I don't know. I don't know.
But Rick Ross also had made a comment somewhere along the lines of everybody around him, he made sure that they like one of his homies needed some money, he was down bad. He had a discussion with him, was like, you know what I'm saying, what it is that you actually want to do. And he funded his startup to his business. Now you making your own money and you don't have that issue. You know what I'm saying? Like once whatever I learn, I want to be able to show you.
Hmm.
Like shout out to Doc Robert Utley, because the more he learns, he knows more about politics and the law at hand. So he's like, everybody should, he wanted them like everybody should have a business. Everybody should have an LLC because you could just get so much more like assistance and funding and you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I have an LLC and I haven't had any assistance. I've been doing this, grassroots, you know what I mean? So I'm like, shoot, man, you know what I'm saying? Plug in because when you got somebody who has experienced and learned, we need to be willing to learn from them. You know what I'm saying? And so it doesn't become a carrying everybody on your back. If you are able to now, real influence is being able to put somebody else in position. You know what I'm saying? Real leadership is getting somebody else in a leader position. You know what I'm saying? You lead by example, then everybody behind my example should be leaders.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Message.
I love that question. That's a good question, man. Robert Utley says, Professor James, small talks about talking to Pac before his assassination, saying him and Biggie was about to get into distribution. Someone's watching. Move in silence.
Hmm.
Right?
So they were trying to make power moves, and somebody didn't like that. And but
People will
and
try to take you out, man. I'm telling you, bro. When it comes to my the ones that move like that don't have a real mindset of abundance, because it's more than enough for everybody out here to eat. You know what I'm saying? Your success, your light will not dim my shine. Your success will not take me out. You know what I'm saying? Even as a competitor, I still want you to win. I'm gonna compete, but I still want you to win in your own sense. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's an aspect of I don't want you to eat when it comes to stuff like the example with Biggie and Pac. I
Hmm.
think it's about the influence and the idea of a possible revolution if these strong figures can do what you're saying and bring other people along with them, teach them things, and each one teach one. If that actually happened, we
Hmm.
probably could be in a whole different situation than we are now.
It's
As
not a
far as she,
probably. That's a definite.
yeah, yeah.
That's why, and that's another fear mongering tactic that they've used. That's why they keep assassinating the ones who talk who act, not just talking anymore, but actually talk, put into place unity.
Hmm.
And that's why, how Dolph hit you, that's how Nip hit me. If you
Hmm.
look at them over the last
Both
5 years,
Leos.
both Leos,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Within 5 years, Nip had accrued like 400 M. You know what I'm saying? Like he was a serial entrepreneur. He did more for his city of Compton than any other person. And these are people, that have larger names, more money. You know what I'm saying? Like he did it. Like he did it. He actually put a lot of people on. He had after school programs and getting all the kids into tech, and knowing that this is digital world and this is the area that we're going. He had programs for coding and tech and all the geek squad shit.
Yeah.
Like everything, like, and then one of the ones that he worked with that learned from his setups, all of his works. He actually was the one that created that concept of the marathon clothing store that Apple then stole or copied. They
Hmm.
stole it. You know what I'm saying? They stole the move. Um, you know what I'm saying? But everybody that individual mentality. So when you look at okay, oh Trump, oh Steve Jobs, oh Bill Gates, oh everybody that got that individual identity that is claimed to be genius, they're not actually geniuses. They're people that knew how to manipulate their way into success.
Yeah, let's say leverage.
Leverage.
Say leverage. Yeah.
It's manipulation. Leverage is different. I know leverage firsthand. It's basically outsourcing, but these motherfuckers was dirty behind the behind the scenes. But we ain't gonna go. I
The
guess
be-
we can because we
the
talk
best
about men in
ideas,
power.
are stolen sometimes. You know.
So that's also an oxymoron with me because can't have community without communication. But part of communication is knowing when to shut up. You know what I'm saying? I got
That was powerful.
I got some people, I know my wife, she we not polar opposites, but if I'm extroverted, she's definitely introverted.
Mm,
And she tell me be quiet all the time. Like you don't need some things don't need to be broadcasted. You know what I'm saying? Because I talk about it all the time. Just with me, I don't see myself as small, even though I know I'm in the process of building. And shout out, we got over 400 subscribers now. I don't see myself as small. I don't see AIM as small, but it's my vision. And already people have copied my moves. People have, imitated my platform. And, you can steal the recipe, but the sauce won't taste the same. You know what I mean? So, um,
Can't be born with seasoning.
you know what I mean? No matter how much salt you put in it.
A little bit of salt in some of our cases.
So, yeah, it's a conundrum because it's like what Utley just said. When it comes to a power move in silence, and you know who you're moving with, then this what we need to do. I just watched the show yesterday where, and I know this made up scenario, but it could be real. So, I just watched a show yesterday where highly affluent, a rich person who you know wasn't as rich later on went to go buy some jewelry that was like M's, you know what I'm saying? And new management asked them for proof of funds. Turns out they didn't have as much, as they originally did. So because you embarrassed me, now I'm plotting to rob you. And she went to security to get them in on the robbery. And dude was like, yeah, nah, so you just told me the whole plan and I'm going to tell the boss now. So you might want to go ahead and get out. And she killed him. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Who is this?
it was a show.
Oh, yeah, okay. I thought you said I missed that
It's
part.
a good show. It was a good show. You know what I'm saying? A good show. But that's what I'm saying. Like things can happen. So you let the wrong person in on your plan. Now the whole plan foiled. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to power moves, big moves, move in silence and move with the right people. Um, and you should be able to dissect who is the right person for whatever the plan is at that point.
I also think. See, I want to be careful with my words because I know Utley watching, but
Yeah, Ugly Raw, he good.
uh, I think another reason why we fall, when we're in places of power, because I think we're distracted by so much that we go away from the concept of God. Um,
Ooh, righteousness.
righteousness, yeah, righteousness. I'm sorry. we go away from the concept of righteousness because we're so distracted by all this. What word I want to use? Heathenism and debauchery, and
Mm.
I don't know where I was going with that. I'm sorry.
No, you're right, bro. That's where I was talking to earlier about it before. Matter of fact, earlier today, where it's a Lauryn Hill verse that says, "How you gonna win when you ain't right within?
Mm-hmm.
How you gonna win when you ain't right within?" Right. So you like you. That's why, like they say, money is the root of all evil, or like money brings the truth out of you. I don't think so. Like whoever you were before the money is who you are. Now you just have the opportunity, you know what I'm saying, or the will,
The
the
goal.
tool. You have the tool to be able to carry out whatever it is that you was thinking. So you'd have had the thought prior to, you know what I'm saying? You just didn't have the correct tools to be able to execute on the thought. But yeah, if you're not right within, if you don't get your moral, if you don't get your spirit right, then when you get into places or positions of power, then it will go to your head. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? Like I had a question that was like,
It,
what are some ways that power has tested your character? Have you ever even been in a position of power? What does that feel like? You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, being in management is always being tested. Always
Yes.
being tested, but because you don't want to take things personally when
But
you're
it was personal.
when you're conducting when you're conducting business. But an employee rub you the wrong way, you may. I'm just speaking from experience. You may like have it out for them and just go out your way to to make them feel your wrath. You know what I'm saying?
Feel your power. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
You
you
you want
you
to see
know who
nigga?
you talking to.
You want to see nigga here now? You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
trying to tell you, bro. That's how it is with like the YNs I was talking about. I'm like, bro, I'm ready to put you in your place, but I know y'all young mentalities, y'all don't got no morality, y'all don't have no sense of like, you don't have no value of life. So
Yeah.
me correcting you could turn into life or death altercation. And I'm like, nah, I value mine. So, just stay stupid for the moment, grow up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'll talk to you in a year or so, but but it's wild. I got somebody on Instagram, Keno Valentine Freelance, says, I have no supporters at all except business coaches and mentors, but they not to buy. I want to ask you what you mean by that, because I challenge that, because we don't always know who's watching, who's rooting for us. And because we're so focused on hatred, who's hating, who's not supporting us, who doubts us, who isn't rooting for us, who actually rooting against us. I want that nigga to fail. You know what I'm saying? We so focused on that's where we start to build our base on. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Start
Versus,
isolating
yeah.
instead of collaborating.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So now it's me against the world, me against everybody. I have no supporters at all except business coaches and mentors. You already just debunked your sentence. And then you say, but they not to buy. Okay. I want you to explain that, because a mentor, their benefit is your success. They just want to see you do better in whatever way that they're mentoring you. They just want to see you do better. They want to see you improve. Hello. Um, so that alone is a supporter. That's a support system right there. So yeah, if you could respond, Keno Valentine Freelance, I'd like to get more input on that. But yeah, I asked that question. What are some ways power has tested your character? Uh, I want. Can you answer that question for us, Mr. Keys?
Oh, I gave the example. I gave the example. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, and being in management, in management and,
A position of power.
a position of power, and, employ, like, they have more autonomy to, like, talk certain ways and stuff because they're protected by a union, the
Hmm.
teamsters and whatnot. And management, you really have to use discernment, and you have to be the bigger person
Woo.
every time. But there are things you can do following the book to a T to make someone's life a living hell if you wanted to, And
Hmm.
sometimes I do, sometimes I do, you know. Um, there are plenty of times where I feel like um, the type of person I am isn't appreciated, and you never will be as management because you're seen as a whole one entity. You're not seen as an individual or human being. You're just seen as a whole entity. The man, you are the man, not a man.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm. Yep.
so it's plenty of times where an employee can rub you the wrong way, and you want to exercise your power to just get back at them, but you have to just take the higher road. And, like, it's it's tempting sometimes, but I refrain. I refrain. That's one example. That's one example. When it comes to, I ain't gonna touch on that, but when it
I
comes
like that.
to yeah, another example. I don't know, man. It's just when you out and about and in the street having a good time, right, entertaining, and you have an altercation with a hater who isn't in the position you are.
Mm.
They're not making the money you are. You could just, or what how we say, flex on them and shit on them, but you don't, because that creates
You reading the comment?
yeah, that's my friend. Money isn't the root of all evil, but love of the money is. Righteousness is essential, because the higher you climb and the more you accomplish, the more the devil will throw at you to hinder purpose. Yes.
Hmm.
All right. Yeah, purpose. I like that. She put it in capital letters. Thank you.
Shout out to Sherelle. What's up, Sherelle?
Yeah, North Carolina in the building.
Uh-uh.
Message.
I love that. I've been in that same position where I was in a management position, and I had the awkward experience of having a homeboy who I looked at like a brother, still do. Um, we worked together, and once I like he rooted for me, he voted for me. If anybody gonna get this position, it need to be him. You know what I'm saying? But once I got it, he was like, "I can't talk to you now." And I was like, "What you mean?" Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to go to the bar. You know, the boss not supposed to go to the bar with the employees. And I'm like, huh, I didn't know
No,
that. You
never,
know what I'm
never.
saying?
Don't do it. I hang out with some employees, but they my niggas. Like,
Yeah.
I, it's different. But
Let's see. Money is not the root to all evil. Profit is the ability to make moves, shift paradigms. So I say, when I had that experience, I was like, it was awkward because ain't nothing changed for me but this position, this title, and like I'm doing a good job. You know what I'm saying? I changed the whole environment. You know what I mean? Um, Respect came with it. You know what I'm saying? All types of things. And later down the line, I say months later, he pulled me to the side one night and was like, "Yo, I gotta apologize to you." And I was like, "What's up, bro?" Because we just stopped talking. Like it was like nothing. You know what I'm saying? Big up Burkina Faso. He ain't gone though. Ibrahim, you know what I'm saying? Torre, he's still here, ain't
who?
it? Iran Troye over in Burkina Faso in Africa. What they doing in the rebellion? They tried. I ain't gonna go too far off, but they attempted to assassinate him 18 times now,
Hmm.
and failed thus far. So
Oh,
you putting the
he real righteous.
real righteous, bro. Real Ed. You know what I'm saying? Our Ed for real, bro. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he said he had to apologize to me, because we was not speaking. There even came times when he would just leave, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, dang, man, this borderline disrespectful, you know what I'm saying? If we can't at least have the discussion, then I won't have no choice but to take it as such. And I don't want to because you're my boy, you know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, it was an awkward situation. But then, once what I want to say is, it made both of us reflect on ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, what type of person are we? What type of leadership do we want to instill in ourselves, and put forth? And how are we going to be towards each other? It made us reflect on ourselves. So again, uh, integrity. If you're gonna be put in a leadership position, we beat our chest to be leaders, but do you actually know what that means? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think it's a great question. What are some ways power has tested your character? Because it's not until you're in a position of power that your true character will shine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I say it enough times, and I'm not glorifying it, but I've been a bully before. You know what I'm saying? I got a growth spurt. I learned how to fight, through experience, not through learn, you know what I'm saying? I ain't had no gym, I ain't had no
Martial arts
YouTube,
class.
no martial art. I ain't have all of that, you know what I'm saying? It was knuckle to knuckle, you know what I'm saying? Like, I done took enough hits to be able to take some hits. I know how to give some back. Oh, okay, now I'm real, you know what I'm saying? And the only image of man that I had growing up, not the only, but the image that I focused on of man as I was growing up was being a tough guy, being able to fight. So I leaned into that and I became a bully just trying to fight people because I thought that's what real men was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Um, we got some comments, y'all. We got some comments. Sherelle says, with success comes power, and you have to practice discernment at all times, especially as black people. It's unfair that we're tested the most, but we have to be cognizant. I love it of this. Control is powerful. Control is powerful. Love it. With success comes power, people. Y'all, hold on.
She's saying when
She said.
nah, I get what she's saying. She's like like cognizant of this control is powerful, like that self control you have of just being, the bigger person and not abusing.
And that self control, originally I was going into or leaning into sexual self control, but it's at the core of it is emotional
Emotional
awareness.
control. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, emotional awareness to acknowledge that what to acknowledge yourself, whatever it is that you feel and whatever it is that you pressured, you know what I'm saying, to do. Internal pressure weighs way heavier than external. You cannot tell me, you know what I'm saying, like, the pressure I put on myself or the pressure I feel by myself, way heavier than the pressure somebody could try to put on me. Like,
Facts.
that's me versus me. When somebody else like tries me, or that whole, it's childish, but that whole, like, what are you, chicken? Like, I don't have nothing to prove to you. I do not, you know what I'm saying? Yes, as a youth, I've been through it enough, but pretty quickly I got out of that phase. It's like, man, forget what you saying, because I'm the one who got to deal with the repercussions of my actions, and
Mhm.
me knowing that made me think of what it is I'm about to do. You mean to tell me I'm about to fight this person? And I've done this. I'm about to fight this person because somebody else said, that he said, she said, somebody else said that they said that I'm a punk. Or I got to go test this person now. You know what I'm saying?
I think uh, in that case, I always looked at it like this, Trey. Like if if I heard somebody say something, but didn't have the balls or the gall to like say it to my face, I see that as a sign of respect. So I don't even entertain it. You know. I know you had alternate versions of it. Yeah.
Facts, bro.
So why am I gonna go risk my freedom for a coward that came and tell me this to my face?
Uh,
And even they did say it to my face. I'm like, okay, you ain't gonna hit me though. You know?
right. It is, like at the end of the day, you still relying on me to start it, to initiate. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You
You want me to risk my freedom? You want me to crash out? Like, nah,
mm,
I ain't no crash dummy.
you know what I mean? And I've been in enough situations where it's like people hype it up for the audience until security, police, or whatever get there, and then
Hold
you
me
might
back.
get a
Hold me back.
you
Nigga, you can get around his little ass. Come
know
on.
what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't stopping you for real, but you don't really want this. Okay.
Yeah.
Or I see the person one on one. I know I'm confrontational. So I know where the camera's at. You know what I'm saying? We off camera, one on one, you quiet. Okay. So you don't want an actual issue. But in front of everybody and you know what I'm saying, litigation or whatnot, it's like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you sound real tough. Okay. But by
Police ass
yourself,
nigga. Police ass nigga.
hmm.
Where we go?
So the old saying is check yourself before you wreck yourself. And that's the that mantra needs to be given to all of us again. You know what I'm saying? We don't realize how real some of these old sayings are. Because even in sexual situations, as we disclosed, is more about emotional regulation. Um, we all want to have fun, have a good time, and do stuff, but all of our actions have reactions to them, have consequences, have after effects. Is a cause and effect for everything. And taking accountability, we see the part that we played in the cause that caused the effect to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to the young ones that, drinking and driving that led to vehicular manslaughter, it's like, okay, you couldn't sit with the accountability of your actions. You know what I'm saying? With all of the things that you decided to do that led up to this effect of somebody lost their life because of you. You know what I'm saying? And now that's about to affect your life in ways unimaginable. You know what I'm saying? So that pressure, that internal pressure was too much. And, ultimately the results have happened. I want to tell all of the young men that's watching this is have accountability. Accountability is not blame. Learn the difference. Again, it's just seeing your part. If it happened to you, if it's a part of your life, then you're a part of it. So being able to see your part will you will be able to learn from it. You'll have more of this proper discernment that we speak on. Um, and everything doesn't have to be experienced first. Listen to those who have been through some things. Listen to those who want to teach you, who want to tell you, who want to guide you, who want to support you, who want to mentor you. Be willing to listen, man. Like it's so many potholes. You can keep your tires fresh, you can keep your brakes good if you ain't hit all the potholes, but you glorifying riding on rugged roads.
Hmm. Hmm.
You feel me?
Gotta do shit the hard way,
You
especially
know what
with
I'm
men.
saying?
Sometimes
Like
we always gotta do shit the hard way.
we gotta reframe all of that, man. Shout out to Sherelle. She said it's so hard to not pop off or tell a person what their mama should have told them, because I definitely do. But it isn't worth it. Your success speaks for itself. Don't lose your seat at the throne addressing peasants. And I like that, but my mentality, my slogan, Sherelle, is you can't have community without communication. And I'm big on atonement. And
Oh, you going back into atonement? Dang, I forgot all about that lesson. Yeah, that was a. That was, go ahead, carry on.
and the first thing is someone, in order for there to be proper atonement, there's 7 steps. The first step is someone must point out the wrong. Now, how we do this, when we do this, the tonality and all of that has to have the proper discernment. But that wrong has to be addressed. Otherwise, you know what I'm saying, there won't, you can't say that there, you're still on the first step of atonement if nobody ever points out the wrong. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's hard not to pop off. Instead of popping off, like I said, I try to come from a center of love. And love isn't soft, it isn't weak, it isn't passive, it isn't you didn't do anything. I just wanted you to know. No, no, no. My love is like, yo, in your face with it, you know what I'm saying? If it gets there, my love is confrontational, it's bold, it's blunt, it's truthful. At the essence is love, and I'm telling you now or what it is that needed to be told, so that we can be good in the future and so that you ultimately could be good. Because what you just did with me, if you do it with the right person, that could be a life altering experience. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So out of love, let's correct this now because, or at least with me, with someone that I would consider you're safe with, at least I'm not like threatening your life. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? Even if I got to put hands on you, I'm still not trying to take your life. You just got to get this lesson real quick. You feel me?
yeah.
But she says, I definitely agree about communication and pointing out wrongs, but how do we do it if someone isn't receptive? I love that question. I don't do it right away. I pay attention to the person and what is that person receptive to. So if it's a person that at least in their environment, we're in the same environment, say for instance it's a coworker, um I pay attention to, I'm very observant. I pay attention to what these people are receptive to, uh the type of things that could set a person off in a good way too. Like, what I'm saying, somebody put on a song, they, oh, that's my, what I'm saying, depending on that type of song, like, okay, this yeah, I mean, like, okay, twerk action. But but I'm observing, I pay attention to people. Uh I said it on the live I did with Quan, Mr. Quanton. I said that I'm bilingual. I speak English and body language.
Hmm.
So what does your body language say? What does your posture say? How do you take care of yourself? Because if you're not receptive of your own self, if you're not loving or take care of your own self or value yourself in a certain manner, then what I have to say to you probably won't resonate. And at the core of it, like I said, the foundation is love.
It's love.
At the core of it, the foundation is love. Um, what I have to accept is that I'm always an example, and people are not always receptive in the moment, but I do believe and have seen that we plant seeds.
Mm-hmm.
So even if that person is not able to digest that truth at that moment, I've had it so many times where that person would come back. It could be years. That person would come back to me later and either apologize or say something along the lines of you was right, or what I'm saying, we could become, much more acquainted, what I'm saying, once we address this issue, however long that may take. But it may not be at that moment. It may not be right away.
Yeah, that reminds me of. I think I told you this example, Trey. I don't know if it was on the podcast or just in us having our conversation. I remember I told you, about my little temper problem when I was a kid,
Mhm.
and how I had an argument with my mother, right? And she was like, we were going back and forth, and she was like, "Why you so angry? Why you always so temperamental?" And she's like, "Why you just can't calm down?" And I said, "I can't calm down because you can't never calm down."
Mm.
Like when I was like 10, 11. And I think it changed the trajectory of my mother like forever as far as how she handled us. I think I parented her in that
In that
scenario
situation.
in that scenario. But she came back to me years later. I didn't remember it, but because she reminded me, now I do remember it. But she told me like that's why she stopped using the F word. She stopped cursing. She got
Mm.
back into her word and stuff. Started joining ministries at church and shit. Like I think I caused all that. I put all that shit in motion. Like
I was trying to tell you, bro. When we talk about being leaders, we really do lead by example. Everybody, if it's something that resonates within them that came from you, that you exuded, then they will then repeat it, right? Um, it wasn't like I'd have been to anger management like 4 times within 2 years in my teenage years. I was angry. Going to anger management just only made me more angry. I was one who, once I got some size on me, I ain't beating up people no more. I'm taking it out on inanimate objects. So I was one who would punch a wall, you know what I'm saying? Or punch a locker, put a dent in it, you know what I'm saying? Oh, he's strong. Yeah, I am.
you need to go to a gym and get a punching bag. That's what you
I
need.
needed that. I ain't had nothing available. I knew I needed it. It was nothing available for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't had no money. I was a teenager not working. I ain't had no money. I ain't had no transportation. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? No outlets. I ain't have it. You know what I'm saying? Like I just sidebar. One of the things I did was I'm looking at anime and stuff. I would scoop up like hot gravel and punch that.
Wait, how you punch gravel? Like what?
Like like on the track,
Uh huh.
you know what I'm saying? I would scoop up the gravel. And I'm on my knees, I'm punching the gravel. I think that's what gave me the dexterity of my hands, like well that's stronger.
So you mean like an outside track, like the little rubber you run on? You would
Not the rubber, the loose gravel, like the gray, like the rocks.
okay, loose gravel. You would punch rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Mhm.
It's a sidebar.
That
But
shit would be hilarious to me right now, just watching somebody punch hot gravel in this heat. Like
trust and believe.
go
You know
straight.
what I'm saying? What you training for, bro? Whatever. You know what I'm saying?
You trying to do something
Uh,
now to come from underground, punch somebody, shit.
yeah. I was on that type. You know what I mean? I was saying I got the wood jutsu, all that. You know what I mean?
I'm glad I know what you talk about, bro. I'm glad I know what
Hold on, I got one for that too. Let's see.
The fuck is he talking about?
So yeah,
oh, let me calm down. Yeah.
it's not until you it's not until you see someone else repeating your pattern, your behavior, that it really sets in. So, fast forward, with my woman before marriage, we get in an argument before this is part of my process of learning. And within that argument, I go out, I punch a wall, right? So she stumps away and she goes to punch a wall. She hurt herself. And I was like,
Mm,
that completely ended the whole like don't do this. Like
yeah.
you just hurt yourself. That shit hurt me. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like that's what I'm showing. That's what I'm showing you. I think at that point is where I really took accountability of how I am because like I look at all of the other examples, like my little brother, he punching walls. You know what I'm saying? I'm the main male figure in his life. He doing it. You know what I'm saying? I got little nieces. I'm not nieces, little nephews, little cousins, who reacting in violent ways, and I'm like, that's what I. That's what I showed you.
Violence breeds violence, bro. Like,
Oh man, let's get to Sir Utley says that man equals master of his emotions. Complementary forces addressing anger may require calm. Ego requires humility. Facts.
yeah,
In nature, balance is in complementary forces. Sun to moon, plants to humans. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all go check out the live that me and Sir Utley did, Doc Rob, on the rites of passage, because what he's talking about is he said you become perfect when you're able to balance. That's our role as men, is to balance, is so that master of emotions comes from balance. This complementary forces is balancing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go to the Japanese, you got that yin and yang.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Realizing that yin and yang is representation of masculine, feminine, but it's in a complete circle, and understanding that both of those components are within us, and that's why on the darker side, which is the feminine side, you got that white circle inside, which is the masculine. You still have some masculine within your femininity, you still have some femininity in your masculine. You know what I'm saying? So it's about balancing. You know what I mean? It's about balancing. Mastering your emotions is about balancing. If you up, you should be able to bring yourself, humble yourself, and that goes to the ego. If you're up, you should be able to humble yourself, knowing that you could lose a lot based on your actions. You could lose your reputation. You could lose your status. Money, I never get attached to, because I could blow that easily, bro. I could blow some money
too fast.
too fast. Like, I just got the confidence and the capability that I can make money. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna make some money. I'm gonna blow some money. I ain't gonna get so attached that my identity becomes money. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just keep on living and do the right things that I know that are for me. You know what I'm saying? So with that, how do you keep your ego in check while still owning your success? That's a hell of a question.
Um, say that again, Trey. Say that
Yes,
again.
sir. Yes, sir. How do you keep your ego in check while still owning your success? God.
Um, that's that's the thing with me because I've always been like kind of
Humble. Mm,
humble, modest. Like even when y'all met me, like I had a little motion. I just had my motion starting, but I ain't just come up and tell y'all like we just started talking and oh shit he got this and that going on. But I never displayed it on FMF. I always talked about where I came from, like my humble beginnings. Like one of the first podcasts I jumped on y'all with is telling you how I was struggling, even with you know all the success. Like I'm making good money and stuff, but my health fucked up. Like, and that's not a good combination. What's the point of having money if you ain't healthy enough to enjoy it?
Woo.
Um, so so I just the one thing is like health and wellness that always comes before any amount of money you can make. Um, that comes before any
Message.
amount that comes before any amount of money you can make. Um, First off, like since we're on the topic, physical health is important, but mental health is like goddamn it important. Like I was,
Message.
you always they say don't forget where you come from. Like
Woo.
I was in a very dark place right before I got my blessings. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I was in a very dark place. The lowest part of me, like what like how I view myself, that was the lowest part of how I viewed myself ever in life right before um, things started turning around for me. I had to accept that I was fucked up. I had to accept it. And you
Mhm.
don't forget that. You you remain humble by remembering like we go through I always say this, we always touch different bottoms in life. But when you hit that bottom of the bottom, like the lowest of the lows, you don't ever want to go back to that point.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what keeps me humble in my success. Like this shit can be taken away from me at any time.
Mm.
At any time. Like if I go out here, start wilding out, start being cocky with it, flashy, break the law or something, feeling like I can't be touched, they'll throw my ass in jail, and then I won't have it no more. Like it could be taken away so easily. It's gonna be taken away a lot easier than it is to get it in that sense. What was the original question? My bad. I just felt like start ranting.
No, you're right on point, bro. How do you keep your ego in check while still owning your success? You're right
Um,
on point.
Keep your ego in check too, because nobody likes someone who's cocky. People can appreciate somebody who's successful and humble. Like you, like we said, you never know who's watching you.
Mm.
People think you cocky and stuff, and like you the shit, or feel like you shouldn't on them. They might end your life over it. It's,
Mm.
it might end your life over it, and it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. And also with you never know who's watching you. Like we're at that age where we're not kids anymore. We're not young adults. We're like we have a whole generation coming up behind us. I got nephews coming up behind me. I got a godson. I got nieces that
Mhm.
um, will look at me and see how I'm moving, and I don't want to influence them in that negative way. So that always keeps me in check too. Just knowing,
Mhm.
just knowing it's not about me anymore. I'm getting to that age where I gotta help the generations coming behind me, and where I'm going. If I'm a lead, if I call myself a leader, what am I leading them to? Am I leading them to?
That part.
Am I leading them to their doom, or I'm leading them to prosperity?
Great questions, bro. That if you are considering yourself a leader, that needs to be at the forefront of your questioning. Where am I leading you to? What is my example? So when that happened, when I started to see how, my loved ones are repeating my behavior that I don't even like or can justify about myself, I said, "Oh no, it's time to do some work." It's time to do some work. I got to get that straight because that's what my leadership looks like. Ugh, that ain't the type of aggressiveness that I talk about. We got comments. Utley says Black people can have great relationships with moms, great partnerships with husband, wife, partner at home, loving bonds with their kids, and still be crazy as hell. Understand your stress. Big old Leo.
Big old
He said the word ego originates from the Latin word, I'm assuming it's pronounced ego, what I'm
ego.
saying, meaning I. So to check our ego, understand we ain't do without some influence, your network, even if the ancestors
Mm.
in your bloodstream. This is what I refer to when I say community. Nothing is done alone as humans. So when you see the one, it's a European concept. of this individual independent success. Because Harrison Ford ain't on the assembly line. You know what I'm saying? Uh Steve Jobs, I'm pretty sure he never put a phone together. And so forth and so on. You know what I mean? Even just with us, like somebody put us in position. Somebody else created that business or that job, that organization. If we created it, what did we use to create it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody else.
In our last podcast, I talk about how my mom made that phone call. If she didn't make that phone call, I don't know where I would be right now. You know what I'm
Come
saying?
on, bro. Like it's always when it comes to you, we talking about keeping your ego in check while owning your success. I attribute and I try to. I know so many. Shout out to this book. I haven't actually read this book, but I love the title so much, and I love another book that the author had written. I think his name Jonah Berg or Joan Berger. He wrote the book Contagious. I love that book, but he also has another book called The Invisible Influence. The title alone has given me what I needed. I haven't actually read the book, but I've been that invisible influence in so many, like so many that I've forgotten more than I know. You know what I'm saying? Um, so with me with that, I was like, there's been times where I felt like I was due appreciation, right? Especially earlier on. Um, and I didn't like when if I went out my way, if I gave my last, if I did something major that was pivotal to your success, if I set you up for success and you got it, your success story is I did everything on my own. I'm like, okay. Now it doesn't actually affect me the same. That was earlier on. I understand abundance to where regardless if I get due appreciation or credited from a specific person, I know that how my God work, I'm gonna get that back triple fold anyway. You know what I'm saying? So now I don't need outward appreciation. I did in the beginning phases where I helped a lot of people, but that also vice versa helps me keep my ego in check and makes me think like who were the ones that accredited, you know what I'm saying, like actually helped me along my journey. And I'm talking about like it's innumerable. I talk about my coach. Truth be told, I had my coach in 2020. I don't know if I would have survived 2020 if it weren't for this guy. You know what I'm saying? Um, no, I would have, but you know what I'm saying. So that was the last time that we actually worked as coach and coachee was in 2020. It's 2025. I'm still shouting them out. You know what I'm saying? Um, I could give so much credit to so many people. Thank you, Keys, for being here. You know what I'm saying? And the conversations that we've had, the transparency that you've had. I could, you know what I'm saying? I learned from you. Anybody that you learned from has attributed to your success.
Yeah, I would say definitely. Just the whole when we started out on the steps with G when he was here, like that whole tribe, man. Y'all have had a great influence on my life, and you know, in a lot of different ways. Paul too, especially Paul.
Especially play ball.
Player P. I learned a lot from him. He would deny it, but I did. He would deny it.
Paul, that nigga on the low, bro. On the low, bro. That's a Leo ass Aquarius there.
Yeah, facts, facts.
Yeah. So anybody that you've learned from has attributed to your success because we don't realize, and this is another reason why it's lonely at the top. We don't realize how much we actually do and go through to get to the opportunity that we then encapsulate our successes on. You know what I mean? Like, and I learned it just, just going through some of the things that I went through when I decided to go into entrepreneurial ventures. I'm looking like, okay, I want to be surrounded by those types of I want to be surrounded by successful entrepreneurs. So I went to a convention, my first time ever, what I'm saying, doing something outside of myself, outside of the norm. I went to a convention at the convention center, all these multi-millionaires, and the thing about it is, the thing I learned is when you know what you've done to get successful, all of the successful people want to show the next person how to become successful. They're willing to be vulnerable. They're willing to be transparent because they know what they've been through in order to get to where they are. Right? The ones that don't, the ones that want to gatekeep, they don't know exactly what they did. They say that they made it by luck, whether they inherited a business or, what I'm saying? Like, if you don't know your highs and lows, if you don't know your ups and downs, you don't know your experiences that led you to, then, what I'm saying? It ain't so much that you don't want to give the information, is you don't believe that you have the information to give.
Hmm.
But you're gonna ride this wave, this image of success though. You know what I'm saying? So I filtered a lot of people out. Just going to that one convention and learning that, I was able to filter a lot of people out later down the line. Um, when it came to, authenticity, I had more questions. You can't answer my questions, and I'm willing and ambitious. So I'm one about that action. So I'm one, like, if you give me something to look up, you give me something to do, you challenge me, anything like that, you give me some homework, oh, I'm on it. You know what I'm saying? Give me this, you need to read this book. Okay, I had the cart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't no hesitation. If I'm talking to you, I'm asking you questions, I'm looking for answers, then if you have an answer, a response, I'm acting on it. You know what I'm saying? Let that be known for those that want to, ask questions too, because successful people want to show you how to get to success, but imagine how many people are asking them the same questions. You know what I mean? Imagine how many people are actually doing what they say though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they stop at a certain point, they stop talking, it becomes repetitive. You know what I'm saying? It becomes common sense to them. Like, why aren't more people doing it? You know what I mean? Like it is with me in communication. Like, how are we still not communicating? You know what I mean? But it's like, no, nigga,
That's
you learned.
that's the next step in my journey too, because always, I always was the one to say I'm not the best teacher, like especially, you know, when it comes to using my hands and teaching you how to do something, I can. But when it comes to just giving you game or something that's not as tangible, I struggle a little bit because
Mhm.
I can teach a young man how to deliver packages for UPS and whatnot. I can teach someone how to tie a tie. I could teach someone how
Mm,
to tie a tie. That's real easy. But when it comes to like my cousin challenged me on this today, and we might have to all get together because I feel like the next step in my purpose and my journey is, I feel like I'm being called to something. And you've challenged
mm,
me on this before when I told you what my passions were and whatnot, and I told you I wanted to help people, and you gave me uh, all these resources. I think I'm just being called by different people in many different ways, like pushing me little by little. My cousin talked to me today, and he said, remember we was coming from DC from the Laker game, and you was talking all that shit about crypto and finances and investing and whatnot. I want you to come in and that on my organization and
mm.
collaborate with that. And we might have to collaborate with Yeah, you Paul and Utley might have to collaborate with us too at some point. I'll put that together. I'll talk to them tomorrow at my family reunion. But I feel like teaching, get comfortable starting to teach and share information with people. Just don't think about it too much. Just tell them what I know, and
Hmm.
maybe someone it will change somebody's life in a significant way down the road. Give them a
And
little
look, and look, the best teachers are students. The best teachers are students. Sir Utley says, shout out to Jim Wofford, Dwayne G, Moms, Aunt Connie, Paul, Pratt, yes sir, Kathy and Fam, Professor Clark, Small, and Dr. Ben,
Dr.
and
Ben.
the
That's my guy.
challenges.
Dr. Ben is my guy.
And the challenges. Challenge builds character. Yes, sir. And shout out to Sherelle. She says, I've heard a saying that successful people are actually more unsure than people who aren't successful. Being open to learn and admit what you don't know is a key to success. I I haven't heard that saying. I would reword it. I think they are more certain, at least, on what it is that they're driven to do. But I wouldn't say they are unsure. I would say that they are open to learning, and that's like literally the essence of always improving the mind. You always can learn if you are willing to learn. You will always find success. I promise. I guarantee it. If you are willing to learn, you will always find success. But some of the things you learn, you have to put into that category of no. Some things you know, you're not still learning. Some things you know. Yeah, I mean, but I love that. I appreciate you, Sherelle. So, how do you keep your ego in check while still owning success? Remember where you came from. Remember where you came from. Uh, I like to journal, write it down. You know what I'm saying? So you can look back at some of the days that you had, good or bad. I write out, what I'm saying, days where I'm like, couldn't anything else happen that was as good as today? You know what I mean? Like I done had days where it's like, yo, like I'm on a high vibration. I'm on a high level of like everything's just going so good. And then I had days where it's like, bro, what is happening?
This year been a trying year for sure.
Hey. Whew.
Also, just remember, and like you said, just remember you ain't doing shit alone. You ain't independent. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Throw that in there
so
because
many things. Like when it comes to success, right? We talk about mental health,
mm-hmm.
I think the best teachers for men, for me, I'm a man,
Mm-hmm.
regarding my mental health, have been women.
Say it again, bro.
Message.
I think I think the best teachers for me personally, as far as working on my mental health throughout the years, throughout my upbringing, throughout getting older, have been women,
Ooh, especially black women.
black women. Yeah, black women. So yeah, I don't, I, ain't, I don't know no Becky's like personally like that. Like I don't know. Um, I can go so many ways with it.
I would say that most of the things that we attribute to being a man, it's all around servicing a woman. You don't know or have tested these theories of how you are as a man until there's the woman there to do something for.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? Protect, provide. That's the main thing. What is a man? Oh, he's a protector. He's a provider. What is he protecting? Who is he providing for? You know what I'm saying? It's usually in circumference of a woman. You know what I mean? Um,
Uh, I I like who said this? Who said this? I don't know what it was. It was a reel that G posted, and G, you know what G believes in. His beliefs in stuff and pretty raw, right? And when I say what I said about women being great teachers of our mental health, it's like we don't really know when we were young how to deal with women. We
mhm,
don't know. We talked about it like how when we were younger we would argue back with them and shit like that. We a lot of us who grew up without our fathers had. I would say I'm just speaking from me an example. I think I had a lot more balancing to do with my feminine and masculine. Um,
mhm,
because when you grow up with a single mother, you kind of ingest a lot of that femininity
mhm.
and whatnot. You're not really sure. Like she can't. My mom told me she can't teach me how to be a man, right?
Right, right.
But in a way, she started it uh,
Mhm,
by making me realize that I need to balance. I need to learn how to control my emotions. I need to. mm, I don't know which one is yin and yang, the black or the white side, but I think the little circle in the middle,
mhm,
I think my black circle was a little too big when I was younger, and I
mhm,
had to work on shrinking it until um I become this masculine figure, right?
mhm.
And it's almost like you have to learn to get the bitch out your system.
Mm.
Like not saying femininity means you a bitch and like women are bitches or anything, but you got to learn to get the bitch out your system as a man when you're younger. Um, and that comes to that emotional control, learning to control your emotions and whatnot.
Yes,
Um, Damn, I be getting lost in where I'm trying to go with shit. But I feel like I be cooking. I feel like I be cooking. I'm not the best cook, but I feel like I be putting ingredients in the pot and starting
yeah,
to.
I'm saying.
I can hear the sizzle, but I don't know what the finished product will be like. Um, Trey, I'm sorry, man. I'm tired.
You
I lost my
good, bro.
I lost my train of thought there. What was I talking about, bro? I swear I stopped smoking. I swear I stopped smoking, but the damage it did in my 20s, like the short term memory, just shot. I'm sorry.
You good, bro. How about we pivot? I would say I got like two more questions before we head out.
Okay, my bad.
Um how do you handle the temptations that come with power, fame, access, attention? How do you handle the temptations that come with these powerful attributes or affluence?
I would say I'm still learning to handle them. I would say I haven't mastered it yet. Um, for example, before I met y'all in 2021, like 2020 was when I, you know, started making really good amount of money, right? And
Hmm.
everybody who knew I was about to get promoted and everything, all the old heads were like, "Yo, that first year, save your money, save your money." That's all they said, save your money, and that was my intentions, right? Those were my intentions. My homeboy, he's younger than me. He was doing the job like he got promoted like 3 years before me. He was telling me all the time like save your money. He would look at me like, "Bruh, save your money." But then we had the pandemic happen, and I just kind of like spiraled a little bit because I couldn't do shit.
Hmm.
Couldn't go nowhere. The job was pissing me off because they shipped me off to the Northeast to places I never thought I'd go in my life. So
Mm.
my to cope with it, I kind of got into retail therapy and whatnot.
Yeah.
Uh, discover StockX, discover Affirm and all these lending platforms where you can make payments on large purchases. Man, I need to delete that app still, but I'm still learning, man. I haven't always dealt with it. I haven't always dealt with it the best. Um, one way to deal with it, keep my ass inside, keep my ass inside the house. Um, I've been outside a little bit this year. I ain't gonna lie.
It's like you're supposed to enjoy life. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Uh, but it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. I mean, I ain't. What was the question again, Trey? My bad.
So, how do you handle the temptations that come with power? So that's fame, access, attention.
Realize all attention ain't good attention.
Oof.
All attention ain't good attention, and you you can't give so much of yourself to a bunch of people. That shit is draining.
Mm,
That shit is draining. Because people love a winner in life. My homeboy said that people love winners,
mm-hmm.
and when they see you winning, they want to feel a part of that.
Yeah.
Um, really had to cut off some people because it's just like not cut off. I don't cut off nobody in life. I don't cut off
Right.
nobody.
We ain't burning no bridges,
You
but
have to distance yourself.
yeah, we had to cross that bridge though.
You have to distance yourself, right? Because like it's like when I first started, making money, everybody started catching on, it's like, oh, everybody all of a sudden love me now.
Mm,
Everybody all of a sudden
mm,
love me now, or like always, I always knew you had it in you and shit like that.
yeah.
Uh, it's like, damn, it feels good, but where was this love like when I ain't have shit? You know, it keep my ass inside. Keep my ass inside. That's that's the way. That's the way. Stay away from the otherworldly shit. Um, yeah, you gotta tell them no. You gotta tell them no.
So what I do,
Yeah,
one
help me
general
out.
rule, one general rule of thumb when it comes to temptation. First of all, um, what I had to learn was temptation is only tempting when you're tempted. So when I'm feeling tempted, what am I tempted to do and why? I truly like I'm maybe this Leo talking, but I'm one of the most self-aware people I know.
Facts, facts. We are very self aware. Yeah.
I am aware of me, like regardless of the temptation. I know a lot of people. Uh, it's been um, it's been promoted to see temptation as a solely sexual thing, but that's not it. You tempted to, the temptations is the power of like how are you going to how are you tempted to like dominate, you know what I'm saying? If you're in that position, are you tempted to um utilize communal resources for self? Are you tempted to, what I'm saying, go out your way for attention? You know what I'm saying? Like, you could say something that'll garnish the attention in a conversation, even though it doesn't add or even make sense for this conversation. You still want to just like blurt something out. You know what I'm saying? What are you tempted to do? And I check my temptation. So most of the time, I realize I'm not even actually tempted. It might just be a thought that came across. You shout out G. One of the things that G talk about all the time is all of our thoughts are not even ours. You know what I'm saying? Is going back to the promotion. Like Utley says that the mind is the victim to the monster of repetition. So if you're in a certain area or around a certain crowd of people, after a while, that's why they say that you are the total sum of, the closest people that you keep, because there's no choice in the matter. You're going to imitate some of the things that have been happening repeatedly around you. At some point, you may like you may start using the trendy lingo. You know what I'm saying? If somebody says something all the time, it becomes their catchphrase. It sticks in your mind. I know a lot of people say communication. There's a lot of people that never said the word communication was never in your vocabulary. But I done said it enough times to now it's like, what happened to communication? And when you get upset, you like communication. I'm like, oh shit. Like you learn it. You know what I'm saying?
um, so I would say the sexual part of it is definitely a big one though. Like it's not
Gotcha.
all of it, but it's a big part of it. Like you see, because when you talk about repetition, like from the get go, like I just remember started watching music videos, and it's like, dang. First music video I used to constantly watch was Puff Daddy before he was Diddy. You know,
Mhm.
my first favorite song was "All About the Benjamins." Like that song has had a lot of influence on why I am the way today. Like the sexual part of it is because everything they show us, or every everything that's put in front of us when it comes to athletes, when it comes to
Mm,
rappers,
mhm.
when it comes to corporate businessmen, like they show us like, hey, when you get to that point, like the women just,
Throw
you know,
themselves at
are
you.
your options are open. You know,
Mhm.
your options become vast, and um, it is tempting. Like I'm not, I don't really chase.
Mhm.
I don't really chase women like that. But the ego in your mind, you be like, man, I could pull her. Man, I could pull her. Man, I could pull her. She ain't got no choice but to like
She got no
why
choice.
wouldn't she choose me? Especially we are Leos, bro. So we already got
Yeah.
that quiet confidence. If we not
The
I don't know if Leos
the
are seen as like
outspoken ones.
outspoken confident, but I know me and you person from the conversation we had a more quiet confidence um in our abilities. So it's definitely tempting, but I don't know. It's you like that discernment. Like it's
Mhm.
like, all right, like it's cool to think about it, but do you really want to act on it? Because you don't know where she from or what she got going on, and her mind could she might be pretty, might got the look, the perfect figure, but her mindset might be dun dun dun. Like
Ooh.
I don't
Oh,
know.
oh my goodness. I can't. Yo, I I I can't if I can't have a conversation with you, all of that external that John don't have no effect, bro. Like I know like because like it's all right. So in my environment, men and women, right?
Hmm.
And the guys, oh, she's attractive, or she's attractive. What are you basing it on? Because if I can't even have a conversation with you, and I consider myself a
But
conversationalist.
initially, the visual is where we start. Like, man,
Mm-hmm.
you're a visual. Like the visual is like, okay, that's what catches our attention initially, and then
Mm-hmm.
you hone in on what the mindset like and whatnot. Then you're like, all right, dead, this dead. You know,
Yeah, yeah. Like I got that about me too. So I like how you pointed out, like, uh just because you done had the thought on it, even if it's tempting,
don't mean you have to act on it. Like
don't mean you have to.
because you are not your thoughts. You're not your thoughts. Like today is Feature Fridays, right? I love listening to Feature. Like that man, like his music like boosts my ego like no other.
Hey.
But I'm not out here trying to, just nutting in nine different, women and having kids about them. Just like, oh, I got the money, I'll just pay for it, whatever. Like I don't have the audacity to move like he moves. Like, or I'm not that confident. I'm not that confident. But
Yes, bro. Like just because you have the temptation don't mean you gotta act on it. And being self-aware can lead to your self-control. So if it's a sexual urge, if you're sexually tempted, um, I encourage guys especially if you're a person with affluence, as we keep saying. If you're a person of affluence, get you some consent. You know what I'm saying? I need you to sign this NDA. You know what I'm
and,
saying?
and,
Go.
and, my, and that's my frustration with Shannon Sharp because it's like what has changed from where he's at now to where he's been like for the most of his adult life. He was a star athlete. You never heard him getting in trouble over women or anything like that. I know he wasn't making the money that athletes are making now,
Mhm.
but for his time, he was making great
Better.
money, And it's like, all right, damn, now you in the media, you would think he would know how to navigate like the gold digging type and all that. Or at least he says like, he carries himself like, oh, if like the woman mindset, right? He cut you off in a minute and just go on to the next one. Like, so the fact that he got caught up by this young snow bunny, I need Dr. Umar. I need Dr. Umar here because he makes Dr. Shannon Sharp makes Dr. Umar seem like a genius right now. But it's like, what changed with him? Like, is it the media industry? Like the money? Like like I said, he's made money all his most of his adult life, but maybe 100 mil is just like he's not used to that 9-figure check
Mm,
compared to like a seven-figure check. Who knows? I don't know.
I
But that's
think
what
it's
frustrates
the
me about this situation because I admire the way Shannon Sharp. I admired the way Shannon Sharp carried himself. So to let something so I don't know, he could have went out and paid for it, like for all that, like
yes,
I I don't
yes.
I don't know.
Agreed. So I would think is I guess the money is attached to it, but it's the status, the hype, and then it's just the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one of the things that guys, no matter the affluence, that influence still has that same result. Where I try to tell them like just because you have access to this does not mean you have to act on it. um, we talk about sexual self control. I tell them, uh, learn not to look through your sexual eye at everything. So when it's a repeated notion, like if you are looking at porn, if you are just scrolling on any social site, if your gender on your profile says male, it's going to show you ass and titties.
That algorithm is a motherfucker. You don't even have to be. It's at the point now. You don't have to be looking at that for it to be in your algorithm. It's the first thing in your algorithm.
It's
Like,
the first thing. Like is like I don't even like it could be embarrassing. Like I don't even like if I'm like talking business, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, well, we could connect, we could collab, and it's like go to the search, you know what I'm saying? Go to put your in like this what you looking at? No, I'm not that's
yeah,
not me. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like you look at my search history, ain't nothing there. I'm not even searching for nothing.
No, no, not at all. Not at all.
You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be
I even go
shown.
back and try to clean out like who I'm following. Like, when
Yes.
you first got Instagram, you got the Instagram models and stuff. You just hit follow on everything. Like just because it look
Mhm.
nice, you don't know her, you don't know her name. She just look nice. But even though you can do that, and it's still like algorithms just ass and titties.
Yes.
Like why?
Yes. Like you're not doing
I I
anything for
recall
me.
one day when I was looking at cars on Instagram for like 1 hour, and my algorithm changed for like that day, but the next day it was back to ass and titties and shit like that. I'm like, damn, I can't win.
Yes.
I can't
Yes,
win here.
bro. I'm looking for entrepreneurial stuff. I'm looking for communal stuff.
Yeah,
And like how is this like if I was to go to my search page right now, let's look. If I was to go to my search page right now, one, two, three, four. You know what I'm saying? Like the first half, the top half is and then it got like creepy stuff and you know what I'm saying? I stuff that none of this stuff I don't look that's not me. Like so I'd be
Yo,
like shout
I,
out to Keys. He send me funny stuff all the time. I'd be like, where do you get this stuff from? Because if I look for it, I don't find the funnies. I
people.
want the funny stuff.
I share things that people send me. I don't. I'm not. So I'm at work all day, right? Look, listen, 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 listen. I'm at work all day, right? And in my building, I don't get good reception. So when I leave work, I got like 20 notifications of people sending me reels. My twin brother, I don't know how he be getting paid because he be sending me like 5 reels a day back to back. I'm like, what the fuck you be doing at work? Because you damn sure ain't working sending me shit. But people send me funny shit, and I send it to somebody else because if I find it funny. because I'm not a scroller. I'm not a serial scroller on Instagram. I don't scroll. Like I might look at some people's stories of people I'm close to who I follow, and then I open up my inboxes to see what reels people send me. But I haven't scrolled up my timeline in a
Yes,
minute. Like
in
I
a
don't.
minute, bro.
I don't. I'm looking at my explore page. I see Dolph, a couple of Dolph things. The one, damn, bro, the video I just mentioned about him with the 22 million and one asking people if he should take it or not. It's right here. The second thing in mind, they listening, bro. They listening.
They listening, bro.
Second thing.
Send that over to me. I ain't never see that.
I
Send that to me.
see. I see two. A white girl trying to twerk, an Asian girl twerking. It's weird. Uh, and one black girl. I see Gucci Mane. I see Future. I see Allen Iverson, Kobe, Nip, and one of Debo from Friday.
So when it comes to how do you handle your temptations that come with power, especially sexual temptations, acknowledging that you are tempted. What are you tempted to do? Make sure that you are safe and secure physically and legally, please. You know what I'm saying? Get any consent that might be needed. And nowadays that consent should be written. Also, make sure that this person is someone safe to enter. You know what I'm saying? It's to the point now where you can show your documentation digitally. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go to the clinic and get it printed out and come with papers, you know what I'm saying that you clean. But yeah, all of the above towards sexual self-control.
I, I don't even want to be that candid. I don't even want to be that candid and be that vulnerable for real. But I do have to work on that though. Not that I'm not a healthy and safe person. Like I go get checked regularly, like once or twice a year now, just in case. I could be with the same person for years,
Mhm.
but you never know. So I'll go get checked regularly. Probably due for a check real soon. But bruh, I was out with a friend yesterday, having drinks and stuff, and I told them like, yo, I ain't really. I'm gonna tell y'all, fuck it, I ain't got nothing to lose. I ain't used protection in a long time.
Dr. Umar.
A long time. A long ass time. Like
Condoms was invented to keep us from reproducing. Stay woke, brother.
I'm just being honest. I haven't in a long time. That's all I'm gonna say. A very long time. A very,
Yes,
very, very long time.
but you also ain't been outside in a very long time, so it's fine. And you, like you said, you're taking the necessary precautions, and you know well enough the women who you may be having these interactions with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, all of the above. Make sure that you are safe. Make sure that you are protected legally, physically, and make sure that there's consent. And consent comes with communicating honest intention. Never assume. And the more powerful, yes, and the more powerful you get, make sure you cross them T's, dot them I's. You know what I'm saying? And this will keep your focus on the proper discernment.
If
Um,
another thing I wanted to add in, if you know if you gotten to know somebody and y'all out, having drinks and whatnot, and then y'all just decided to do cool. But if you meet a girl for the first time and she's under the influence, don't do it. Don't do it.
mhm,
If it's your first encounter, you like, and y'all just going straight to it, don't do it. If she's under the influence of anything,
of anything,
anything,
peers, anything. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah, don't do it.
You know what I'm saying? Get to know this person. You're gonna do it the second time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you know what I mean. But yeah, let's see. Before
You
we
have one
leave,
more question, didn't it?
I actually got a few, but I do got I do got a little bit of, we had 30 minutes earlier. You know what I'm saying? That's on us in the background. We had to get
It's
stuff
on me.
straight.
It's not on us. It's on me. It's on me. It's not on us. It's on me. I had to dust the cobwebs off some of my equipment, and it was bugging. So
That was I set the time for the wrong time, so I take my part. You know what I mean? I want to ask two questions.
okay.
You know what I mean? First question: if you lost your success today, what would still define you?
Mm, that's a good question. I don't think about that often, like because I
Mhm.
don't even like to put that thought out up there in the air, like oh, what if I lose this tomorrow? I don't even like to talk like that. Like
Yeah,
no negative self talk
I
is
know
allowed
that's
around
right.
me. Like for the people around me too, I don't really allow a lot of negative self talk.
That's right.
Um, and people that know can vouch for that. I don't allow negative self talk. And if I lost my success tomorrow, what would define me? Um, uh, oh yeah, from we it was the basis of our last
I last lot.
podcast. That my humanitarianism, like short answer.
Yes, yes, man.
My I feel like I could still be empathetic to others, even if I didn't, if I wasn't as capable.
mm,
I would still remain humble. I wouldn't like curse God or anything. It's like, all right, it's just setback. We all have ups and downs. I wouldn't stop uh, trying to be a light to people. I wouldn't stop
mm,
being loved, giving love, being a loving person. Um, I'll probably be a little irritable here and there, but it's still
absolutely.
I'll be a little irritable. Like, look, don't talk to me as early in the morning no more because I'm going through some things. Like, I'm gonna need longer to wake up now and get my
Yes.
mental right. But but yeah, I wouldn't I wouldn't change what I'm already doing and just being a human being and just being able to relate to others.
Oh, that's right. I love that. So that means that you know who you are at the core,
Yeah,
and success usually is built on fleeting things. Whatever you consider success or what you're working towards to get it, once you got it, then what? You know what I'm saying? That's why it's like you said earlier, it's like a high. A lot of these successful people are chasing the next thing to the point where it starts to seem, well, not starts to seem, it does become unhuman. It does become like you doing some wild stuff. You know what I mean? Like just to be like, what's next? What's next? What's next? So success is a fleeting thing, just like happiness is a fleeting thing. Like all of these things, confidence is a fleeting thing. We always can get it back, and that's what I want to instill in every man's mind: is don't let where you are dictate where you're going. And even if you're up, they say that you at the peak of the mountain and you ain't got no choice but to go where? Down. That doesn't define who you are. You're still the one that was able to go up. You know what I'm saying? And as we know, life is not a straight line. It's got its ebbs and flows, its ups and downs. It's going to have its moments. You got your joy and pain, your dark and light, your yin, your yang, your masculine, your
yeah,
feminine, these complementary forces that Sir Utley was talking about. You know what I mean? So that's what I want to instill in every guy that's paying attention now is it's not a solo thing. It's not a definite success. It's not a definite thing to have power where you are now in the scene where some of the most powerful or influential, like I said, you look at it like a lot of these European kings got overthrown or assassinated. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you on top of the world, your world for a moment. You know what I'm saying? But then you stripped of your title and you're a peasant. You know what I'm saying? Like you went from king to peasant. You know what I mean? Like, does that can you identify yourself, or do you stick to the title? Um, and last question, I'll leave this for the last question. Is how do you mentor young men on the importance of boundaries, integrity, and self control?
Hmm. That's a good one. And I always go back to work because that's why I interact with the most
Yeah.
people in life because I'm there like all the time.
All the
uh, damn, like 70% of my life is at work. Uh,
time. Yeah.
but a lot of these younger, I'll use example of the drivers. A lot of these younger drivers are coming into money. Uh, they're they're making six figures in 4 years. Like these kids coming out of high school driving,
Mm,
and by the time they're 25, making six figures.
mm,
A lot of the times they, a lot of them, it's interesting. A lot of them are like in relationships and whatnot, but they struggle with, you know, their
what
women. They
what
struggle.
happens on the road stays on the road, or
No, not like I mean, UPS has a high divorce rate, yeah, but I'm talking about it for the you said the younger generation. They're letting. I'm talking like an old head, right? But I would say like if I'm talking like an old head, they letting the women run their lives and their lifestyle outside of work. Um,
mm,
one kid was talking about work life balance, and he was like, you know, I can't never get home. My girlfriend mad at me. I'm like, bruh, you gotta have a conversation with her, like that. Yo, this is a career, not a job. Like this is how you're providing and whatever. Like she will have to understand. You have to have a conversation with her, not like, oh, you need to get off work early so we can go to this concert and shit. Like, no, it ain't that. Uh, so I try to have those one on one. I try to have those one on one talks with them. It's with the white kids it's a little different because I'm like, it's kind of the same thing, but I kind of like just I don't know. Their mindset is a little different, so
mhm.
I can't speak to them as easy I could speak to a young black man. But I
You relate,
I definitely like because a lot of them a lot of them like have better cars than I do. Like
yeah.
Hellcats, Camaros, Chargers, Infinities, and all this stuff. They doing all this shit to it. Like that's where all their money go to their car. Like,
Hmm.
um, I, what was the original question, Trey? I'm sorry.
How do you mentor young men on the
Uh,
importance of boundaries, integrity, and self control?
uh, boundaries, integrity, and self control. Well, one with the boundaries, like speaking to their women and making them understand. Like you really have to make that for the line of work we're in. You really got to make your woman understand, like about time. Like you ain't gonna have a lot of time during the week to for the leisure stuff, for the stuff that can they where you can delay the gratification.
Hmm.
They do have um, option days and leave time to where they can if they know in advance they want to do something, they can take a personal holiday or something. You know, they get X amount of those per year, but you have to really plan out your leisure time.
Yeah.
Planning out your leisure time, you really have to do that well in advance. Like that. Don't let her say on a Monday, like, "Oh, Wednesday, can we do this?" Like, no, time. Like, I have to give them a week's notice for me to have that day off. Like, I don't have no seniority, first of all, so all the old heads go home and they go make me run their route. So just planning, not and not just doing so much spur in the moment stuff.
Mm,
With they not not living above their this is a hard one. Not living above their means.
mm,
Because like I said, they go out here and get cars. A lot of them are like 10 years younger than me, and they already have houses and
yeah.
mortgages and shit. I ain't even got a house yet. Like soon as they I talk to them about soon as they get the money, they expand their lifestyle. And that's
Yeah.
not how you really create wealth. I'm trying to talk to some of the young black dudes about crypto and whatnot. I just haven't really had the time to gather them and sit down with them about, uh, talk to them about budgeting. A lot of them are just blowing their money fast.
Mm,
And if I was 25, I probably would be too. 24, 25, I probably would be too. But it's like you're young. I just see like, I wish somebody would have told me about investing and stuff when I was 23, 25. Imagine somebody told you about Bitcoin in 2014. If you knew what you knew now, you probably would have put everything you had into Bitcoin and you probably be retired by now. I had a homeboy who did do that. 2014, he put a $10,000 bonus he got from his job in Bitcoin when that shit was dollars, and that shit like six figures now. So he is like retired. I ain't gonna say his name or nothing because he live a low
mhm,
key lifestyle, but that
mhm,
that I'm like, I wish somebody would have told me that. So I try to talk to them about investing and how they could really like be set up by the time they don't have to retire at UPS when they've broken down in their bodies. They can be retired
mm,
and they can really be retired into their 40s if they're steady with it and enjoy their money afterwards too when they're raising families and whatnot. A lot of them have kids already,
mhm,
and it's like I kids is a hard subject for me. I don't have kids, but to tell people like, look, you gotta figure that shit out because you have to be at work. Like other people have kids, they make everybody's situation different, but they make means. So you gotta really, especially young people having kids, you really have to figure that shit out
mhm,
and have structure in your life. Because if you don't have
mhm.
structure, you will crash out and burn. Um,
Man, I love that. I was telling. I had a situation with one of my coworkers, a guy. You speak on boundaries, integrity, and self control, and I, emphasize a lot of this through communication. To where the guy they done moved state to state up until they done made it to this state of Virginia, all due to the whims of the woman getting a different job. And then once you get once we done made this move per you getting this job, oh, I don't like this job no more, and you quit. And now there's kids involved, you know what I'm saying? And she done quit another job, and it's like he like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I'm thinking like, well, the first thing we doing is you ain't quitting no more jobs. We ain't moving. We ain't going off of how you feeling
yeah, a lot.
based on, you know what I'm saying? We
I do get a couple of them like with the young girlfriends, like my girlfriend just quit her job because she won't feeling it today. Like, yo, you gotta at least have a plan. Like, give me a heads up, 2 weeks notice, something. 2 weeks
something.
notice, so I can know. Okay, this is what I'm gonna have to take care of. Blah blah blah.
Like
Like,
we all have the moments where it's like, yo, I think today might be the day.
I've had plenty. I've had plenty.
We did all had them Jones, but
I've
it's
had
like, hey,
plenty.
listen, you know what I'm saying? Uh, Regardless, like you said, we have to, okay, it's valid that you feel a type of way, right? But you have to be able to look at your situation. And especially if this involves one another, this for men and women, this is relationship. If it involves the other one or affects the other person, then they need to be included in the final decision. They need to be at least informed, and what I'm saying, so that it's not just a blind side. Like that's where so many separations have happened. Like somebody to think that we actually good. No, we actually in the red. Or no, I actually withdrew all of our savings for, a whole different investment that you didn't know about. It didn't work. Oh, sorry, we're broke now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Are we using all our savings to go on vacation? Like,
mm-hmm.
not the savings to go on vacation. Like, nah, you just need to delay that trip.
Mm. That's it. Like the trip ain't going nowhere. Trust me, I know enough to where like I trip enough, you know what I'm saying, going on the cruise next month. Shit.
Oh yeah, Mr.
So
Cruz right here. Cruise.
so
The
I
cruise
know,
all across the Atlantic.
you feel me, but I'm not doing it poor. You know what I'm saying? Like I do attribute experience, but I'm not doing it poor. I'm not broke. And look, we plan our shit in advance. We line our schedules. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, going all the way back, guys, y'all got to be able to speak. Cause I know you want to provide for your lady. I know you want to be able to like she could do whatever. You know what I'm saying? But this you gotta have that. We talked about earlier is balance. We are there to create balance.
And remember, your happiness matters too. Like,
Please,
yeah,
please do.
yeah.
Please do. You're not supposed to work. Well, I know we just was talking about it, made a joke from it. We work 70% of our lives, but we're not supposed to work ourselves into the ground and not be able to enjoy what we worked so
Yeah.
hard for.
And you said it earlier. We're here to serve women, but you're also here to be served as well. So
That- That's believe.
reciprocal, bro.
You
You
know what
gotta
I'm
be reciprocal.
saying? Because I'm like, oh my goodness, that Leo savagery, that joke get crazy. I'm like, yo,
Shut that shit down.
who you think? Oh, you thought you were? I love humility. I'm gonna put you in your place real quick. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Even if it's just like I done turned my back to you in the midst of the conversation, like.
I ain't
Uh,
doing that. I ain't doing that. I don't. I got to see where your hands at
Mhm.
all times. I ain't doing that ever.
Nonetheless, man.
Make sure if I'm gonna turn my back, make sure I'm walking away, not just turn my back and standing. Feel a poke.
You know what I'm saying? Hear something bust.
Yeah.
What was that?
You
I'm,
wake up 2 hours later.
I'm bleeding.
Oh yeah, I believe me. No, Trey, I was watching. I don't know. We watched Dave Chappelle. I was watching a
All the
reel on
time.
Instagram. It was remember the dice game, Leonard Washington, and he was like being all bold, like if you could take this money from me, you got to shoot me. He was like, okay, Charlie Murphy and the ski man shot him in the leg. That shit was funny, bro.
Weak, bro. Weak. But y'all give it up for my guy Keys. Before we head out, is there anything else that you'd like to say to the fellas that's watching, anybody that's viewing? What would you like them to take from this live?
Um, don't get tricked out your spot, man. Don't get tricked out your spot. Uh, you gotta learn discernment in every situation. You could be in some hostile situations. Always control your emotions. Always control your emotions, man. If you learn how to control your emotions, that's like the beginning of your manhood. Like that's the beginning of your manhood right there. If you ain't control your emotions, you ain't reached manhood yet. But
Mm.
that's the start right there.
Oh, I love that.
It's so much more I could say. I feel like I wasn't as talkative today. I'm a little
My
tired.
bad.
I got no. You good. You good. I'm gonna be. I gotta be back at work in like the next 6 hours. So,
Right.
it's all good. My mental kind of everywhere, but yeah, definitely just control your emotions. Like that's the start of everything. Controlling your emotions.
Mm. And for those that are viewing, we have the free emotional wheel chart. AIM has a PDF that you could download. It's in the description. It's a free PDF. It's an emotional wheel chart. So what we're doing is we're emphasizing and learning emotions, being more emotionally aware, more emotional intelligence. This emotional wheel chart, I think it has 64 emotions. I couldn't name 64 emotions right here, right now.
I
You
think I
know what I'm
got like
saying?
five. I think I got like five.
You know, you feel me? You know what I'm
um,
saying?
one more thing I wanted to add before you finish. Controlling emotions also comes into play when it comes to you making money because money is a very emotional uh thing,
It's
right?
love.
Yeah,
Message.
like, you can control your emotions, you can control your money. Like, trust me, money is emotional. Like I spoke about, how I, was feeling some type of way, and I started going into retail therapy during the pandemic instead of saving my money.
Mm,
It was off emotion. Like I have so many shoes in my closet and stuff that I've worn like maybe once or twice in 5 years. And it's
mm,
just sitting there, like then lost value, then lost value from when the prices were pumped up during that quantitative easing period in 2020 2021. But and so many shoes I had to sell back that I didn't want
Mm.
at a lower price. Like money is emotional too. So if you can control your emotions, you control your money.
God damn, yeah. Where is that? Facts, man. Listen, man, we've been here. We made up for lost time. Of course, y'all know this ain't the last time that y'all gonna see Keith Stupid with two O's. You know what I
Hey, if
mean?
you will it, Trey, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back again because I feel like this wasn't even my best work. So, I just feel like so much left to be desired to the people. So, I'm gonna come back sooner than later if Trey will have me.
Absolutely,
We gonna do
absolutely.
we gonna do it. We gonna do it the way we did it the last time. You have to call me on Monday when you were on the road and delivering, and I'm gonna have to, we have to go through it, walk through it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Y'all heard the man himself. He will return. The legend. He will return. Mr. Keys, Marquis Smith. Thank you, sir, for being here.
Hey, I appreciate you for having me, bro. Always a pleasure, And like I said, this man. I don't think I'll be in front of a camera ever if it wasn't for this man. Like in my life, on my life, But he just knows how to get me to talk. And I'm to a point now in life I don't mind talking. Like if you're familiar with me, I'm an open book and I like to listen too. So I'll talk to you about anything and I'll listen about anything, unless it's on some like Diddy party shit. Like I don't care to hear about none of that shit. But
Right.
I'm an open book wise to anything in life. And I don't I'm free. I feel free to talk about myself too. I ain't got no shame in none of my game.
Ain't that right?
Yeah.
Well, once again, man, we thank you for coming. Thank y'all for joining the live. And we're going to go ahead and wrap it up on that. You will see Mr. Marquis Smith yet again. You know what I'm saying? Until the next time, gentlemen, have more self control, learn more about your emotions. Understand that temptations may arise, but you do not have to act on it. And the more power that is affluence, money, fame, success, attention, influence, access that you gain, it comes with more awareness, more insight, uh more navigation, more awareness, more control.
And the older you get, retain your seed a little bit more.
Mm,
Each year you get older.
there we go. And like and like that, we're gonna see y'all next time.
Peace.